Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zoe's Treasures. My name's Tracy. As always, I'm here with my husband, Noel. Good evening, Southern Charm. Hello, Crystal's Timeless Treasures. See a lot of people in the chat that I recognize. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super excited. Tonight is our monthly New Seller Surge Raid Train. So you're only going to be with me for, 13 minutes or so. I'm just going to tell you what's coming up. And then we're going to go raid our first new seller of the night. Hello, I love discounts. We're going to go rate our first new seller of the night, and then we're going to go through. We'll come back to me at 8 o'clock. I do have 2 postcards, the giveaway that is up and running right now. But let me tell you a little bit about the New Seller Surge. If you have not experienced this monthly raid train yet, we've been doing this for about 6 months now. And this is for new sellers. And we classify a new seller as anybody who has less than 1,000 sales. So you have to have less than 1,000 when you sign up. We have people have been waiting for a couple of months to get on the train. So we have right now a waiting list out through March. But the spots fill up quickly because we only have 6 spots. This train goes from now until 8 o'clock. When you come back to me, I'll do some selling, and then we end by about 8:30. To be on the train, less than 1,000 sales, then the new sellers have to follow some rules. Now, we try to make this easy. If you've been in any of my talk shows, you know one of the things I talk about, hello, Brittany, one of the things I talk about all the time is trying new things. As sellers, we have to be flexible. We have to be able to pivot. We have to be willing to try new things within, our risk tolerance level. So for all the new sellers tonight, you need that such. I know it's. You know what? I felt the day before Thanksgiving I can finally break out my Christmas stuff. So they all have to try some new things tonight. Some of them, this may not be super new to them. Others, this is brand new. So what do they have to do? What do the new sellers have to do? They have to run one item at $1. Doesn't have to be an expensive item. It can be a very low value item. The goal for that is just to get over that fear of running something at $1. That is a big trust that a seller puts into the buyers when they run something at $1, and it can be hard to do. So that's why we ask them to just run one thing at $1. They also, if they are normally a pre-lister, they must run one random item. If they normally do random, they must run one pre-listed item. Again, it's about pressing buttons, trying new things, getting out of your comfort zone. That's what this train is about. In addition to giving new sellers just a little bit of the experience of a raid train. It's not high pressure. We're very low key, very chill tonight. Getting them used to pressing the buttons, raiding on time, following the rules, just doing all that raid train stuff that can be a little overwhelming at the very beginning. So that's what this train is about. That's what we've asked our new sellers to do. So let me tell you who our new sellers are. And every month we have 6 new ones. I do have a repeat tonight because we had a last minute cancellation and this person graciously stepped up at the very last minute, but she is still under 1,000 sales. So she still is considered new. We'll get to her in a second. Okay. First off, at 6 o'clock. And if you are in here, if you're one of the sellers that I call out, please put your emojis in the chat. Let people know who you are. So 6 o'clock, we are going to Second Blessings. Second Blessings sells baby and kids clothes. Now, I forgot to say at the beginning, this is cross-category. While we do have a lot of vintage people, it is open to anybody who wants to be on the train. So Second Blessings, 164 items sold, so still very, very new. Selling baby and kids clothes, and all of our sellers are 5-star sellers. Next, at 6:20, Crystal's Vintage Collection. Now, Crystal's, I think she was on the train a long time ago when we very first started, but she still has 394 sold, so still under her 1,000, still considered new. And she did step into an open spot just last minute for me, so I'm so very thankful to have her do that. She sells estate sales, so she cleans out estates and sells a whole variety of home decor, crafts, books, a few other jewelry, a few other things. Lucy's. Well, we do put everything on. Well, their shows won't be on YouTube. Mine will be on YouTube, but maybe you can catch it next month. All right. So Crystals. The other thing I want to say about Crystals, Vintage Collection. If you have never seen her show, where she does CSV training, absolutely. When she comes on, bookmark her. She does some CSV training. If you don't know what that is an easy way for all of you pre-listers to get your items into Whatnot really fast and easy without having to do it one by one by one. It works wonderfully, and she has shows that she teaches you how to do that. That is at 6:20. At 6:40, we're going to go see Miss B. Miss B is Natalie. Let's see who's getting the Southern Charm. You're getting those two postcards. Congratulations. Let's get another two going.
Congratulations.
All right. Miss B is actually Natalie. And you will see her logo on her thumbnail says Natalie Nostalgia, which I really like that. She sells vintage decor, and she has 70 items sold. So she is brand spanking new at 70 items. She's also a fourth grade teacher, which I know we have a lot of teachers here on Whatnot. So that's kind of already, if you're a teacher, you got something in common with her. So after Miss B at 6:40, we're going to go at 7 o'clock to Tried and True Just for You. I love that name. That is such a soothing name, right? Tried and True Just for You is Miss Julia. She has 575 items sold, so just a tad bit over halfway to 1,000, and she sells vintage and antique decor. After that, at 7:20 is a Monster Mama. A Monster Mama is Miss Amy. Miss Amy is a fellow Pennsylvanian, just like I am, and she sells vintage decor. She has 119 items sold so far. So again, a very newer seller. And then after that at 7:40 is Riki Relics and Fossils. Another fun name, really fun name to say, Riki Relics and Fossils. This is Miss Donna. She has 566, so she's a seller, probably one of our more experienced ones today with over halfway to her 1,000. And she sells like precious metals, fine jewelry, and vintage and antique jewelry. So some really cool stuff. All of these sellers, if you think about it, between the jewelry, the vintage decor, the estates, the kids' clothing, if you need some Christmas stuff, tonight may be your night. So what do I ask of you guys? We have 6 minutes before we raid. What I ask of you is please hang out for the 2 hours. Each seller's only on for 20 minutes. So do your thing in the background. Give them some love, though. Tap that screen. Show them some love. Put hearts on the screen, words of encouragement in the chat, and be patient. Some of these sellers have been on a raid train before. Some of them, this is their very first raid train experience. And if you're a seller, you know how nerve-wracking a raid train can be. I still get like butterflies in my stomach, and I've been on quite a few trains at this point. So show them some love. If they have a question, if they seem nervous, put some encouraging words in the chat. If you can spend money, wonderful. But no need to. Obviously, we're all sellers. Everybody wants to make sales. But it's really about encouragement. It's about that support. It's about the community that we have here at Whatnot and giving these new sellers a chance to try new things and just to get used to the whole raid trade feel. So then at 8 o'clock, after Riki Relics and Fossils, at 8 o'clock, you're going to come back and see me. And that's my chance to sell you some stuff. I've got a lot of smaller things tonight, doing a lot of bundles. So if you're a reseller, you might want to come back at 8. Don't go. Just stay the whole train. But come and see me at 8. And we're doing, I've got a couple of giveaways. And we've got all kinds of stuff behind me that I'm going to be selling at 8 o'clock tonight. And that's what we're doing. So if you are a new seller yourself and you're like, hey, I'd love to try your raid train. This sounds pretty simple. Message me. We are right now into February, March. I think I have 1 or 2 spots in February because we moved a few people up. So February, March timeframe is what we're looking at. And it's okay if you hit 1,000 before then. Southern Charm, absolutely. I'll make a train just for you, Southern Charm. And it's okay if you hit your 1,000 before that, as long as you're signed up, you have under 1,000. So message me if you're interested. We have about 4 minutes before we go and raid our very first person, which is Second Blessings, baby and kids clothes. Y'all, you know how fast them little ones grow. What a better place to buy your baby and kids clothes than on Whatnot. Like, you're going to get a good deal, you know that for sure. And the kids, they just grow so fast. I'm actually thinking, don't tell her, looking for some teen clothes pretty soon for Christmas. Like, see what fashionable clothes I can find for my own one. Yeah, Brittany right there says, don't I know it? She has a new little one. 5 or 6 months at this point. I know I'm close. And they grow so fast. So, anyways, four, almost 5. There we go. I knew I was close. If you are new to Zoe's Treasures, really quick, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself before we go and raid. So I do a show every Saturday at 4 o'clock, and it's usually, hello. It's usually a rotating schedule between like French decor, blue and white, primitives, trying to think of the whole, like cozy cottage, farmhouse, and a glowy show. So I do 4 o'clock is my big show. We do free shipping on Saturdays, and I do all dollar starts. And then once every 6 weeks, I do a reverse auction. Those are not dollar starts, but it is a different type of auction that's a little bit fun to do. Let's see who wants Southern Charm. Wow, that's 2 in a row. You've got both of those postcard giveaways. I'm going to start the other one here, and we'll probably end up pulling that one early before we raid. It is not rigged. And then, so I do a reverse auction about once every 6 weeks. Those are usually like the high end items, things that I can't start for $1, but they're really nice and you guys get a great deal on them. So check that out. Today's the day for Southern Charm to buy a lottery ticket for sure. If you've never seen a reverse auction, please come and see me at the next one. I think it's in December is my next one. I do have them scheduled, so you can go and take a look. Also on Fridays, I do a chat show at 7 a.m. I try to keep it really business focused. We do some accounting and tax talk too. I am a licensed CPA in 2 different states, so I do bring that experience to my chat shows where people can ask tax or accounting type questions. But we also just talk about different things business-wise and kind of about reselling and buying. I have usually different topics I'll bring every week, kind of structured, but it's always open for questions. So that's a chat show I do for 2 hours every Friday morning at 7 a.m. And then throughout the week, I do whatever I can. I love raid trains, occasional pop-up, not so many pop-ups, usually more raid trains. And then in January, we have a huge announcement coming in January. We could get a little crazy on the talk shows. That's right. January, we have a huge announcement coming. I'm so excited. I can't tell you what it is yet. And normally I play a little teaser. I'm not going to play it because we're short on time. But we do have a huge announcement. I'm super excited. So just kind of stay tuned, hang out. We're hoping to either announce it the very end of December, very beginning of January, but we got big plans. We've been making connections and talking to people and getting some stuff in motion for a couple of months now. So this has been in the works. And I'm really looking forward to our new year. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and pull this giveaway. Let's see who. We've got just about half of you guys in there. Let's see who's going to get these last 2 gift cards. And then we're going to go raid. Beth, hopefully I'm saying that right. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. Y'all, stay on the train. You may meet your next favorite seller tonight. You never know. Well, let's start it off with Second Blessings. We're going to go right into her. And I will see you guys back here at 8 o'clock.